Okay, here we go. We've got a phenomenal panel that's about to take the stage. It's the Global Economy and Northeast Ohio Business Connections. And leading this discussion and moderating these incredible lights, who each have a lot to say, is someone who is leading the way now with Crain's Cleveland Business as the editor. She is known to many of us in her incredible editorial work and writing work when she worked for the Plain Dealer for almost 2 decades. She's someone who appreciates communications and public relations. She's also somebody who understands the importance of philanthropy at the Cleveland Foundation. We are extremely grateful to the Cleveland Foundation for a lot of things, not only their support of this event today, but the leadership of Ron Richer, Lillian Curry, and India Pierce-Lee in terms of welcoming people and letting people know what an open city we are. Our speaker coming up now to introduce the panel is someone who needs no introduction, but we love very much. Please give a warm Cleveland Cavaliers welcome for Elizabeth McIntyre.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's take the stage. Let's take a brief break so everyone can get to our panelists. And welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today. Our panel discussion is on the global economy and Northeast Ohio business connections. It's clear in recent years that there's no such thing as a local business anymore. Every business, whether they realize it or not, now operates in the global economy. Our objective with our time today is to share some of the experiences that Northeast Ohio companies and business people have had in operating in a global economy. Joining us today for the conversation are Dr. Nizar Zine, Chief of Hepatology and Head of Global Patient Services, Cleveland Clinic, Michelle Connell, Cleveland Office Managing Partner for Squire Patton Fox. There you go. Baju Shah, CEO of Biomotive. Peter Clark, Regional Director of Operations, Midwest and Canada at Intercontinental Hotel and Resorts. And finally, Jack Schron, CEO and President of Jergens. Thank you all for being here today. Again, I'm Elizabeth McIntyre. I'm the editor and publisher of Crain's Cleveland Business. And we want you to be a part of this conversation too. I'll reserve 10 minutes at the end of the hour to answer any questions you might have of our panelists. So let's get started by hearing a brief overview from each of our panelists on their experience as a business with global ties. Peter, we'll start with you. Being that Intercontinental is part of your brand name, it seems to make sense to start with you. Can you give us an overview of the Intercontinental Hotel Cleveland and its focus on international diversity?
Sure. Well, welcome everybody to my home. I think Intercontinental, the name says it all. We were originally actually founded by Pan Am, right? So to provide destination or luxury hotels to all their destinations, right? Over the year we've evolved, we've grown. We now have 5,000 hotels in over 100 countries. And what we do on a daily basis is we provide service to a global traveler from a global staff base. In this hotel alone, we've got 36 languages spoken and over 40 nations represented. So we are a real melting pot, and I suppose that's just typical of Cleveland and where we are. Now, one of our major goals is obviously to be a strong business supporter and unit to the Cleveland Clinic. They have many, many international guests who stay with us, and we're an extension of their service. When I look at my career and my travel, I've lived in 7 different countries and lived and worked in 7 countries and visited many more. And as a hotelier, we try and provide a service that is above the culture of the country. Right? It should include the elements of the country, but we provide a service of culture that should supersede all of that. And that's sort of my goal as a leader here in this city, is to make sure that our staff continue that mantra to be here for everybody who comes in and to take exceptionally good care of them. So.
I'm just going out on a limb here, but I'm guessing you weren't born in Cleveland, were you?
No, I was born in a suburb of Cleveland called Ireland. I've met so many people here from sort of West Ireland, I almost feel like I'm home. I've
I came to the States about 20 years ago on a green card. I was one of those people who was lucky enough to win it in the lottery. My brother actually won one as well, which is very, very unusual. And then I stayed in the States for 7 years. I lived in Asia for the last 15 years, and predominantly China for the last 7. And I've just moved back to Cleveland 7 months ago.
Well, welcome to Cleveland. Dr. Z, your job title reflects the importance of international patients to the Cleveland Clinic. Can you please share an overview of the Cleveland Clinic Global Patient Services and the clinic's expanding role as an international leader in healthcare services?
Absolutely. I thank you for the opportunity to be here and to speak to you all. So let me tell you about Cleveland Clinic. You all know Cleveland Clinic by its presence here locally, but Cleveland Clinic had expanded to truly become a major player in the international healthcare system. In fact, probably the most diversified American healthcare system in terms of its international presence today. So the Global Patient Services is one piece of our international activities, and this piece is located one floor above us here. And this is the piece responsible for international patients that do come to Cleveland for medical care. This makes up about 5,000 individuals each year, with their families, about 25,000 individuals that do come for medical care here. This population have major impact both on the Cleveland Clinic and on the city, which I'll be happy to elaborate on later in this session. However, this is, as I said, it's one piece of what we do internationally. Cleveland Clinic is engaged in much larger international interplay in which we actually not only bring patients for medical care here, but we export our intellectual capital abroad. And what I mean by that is our presence today in multiple countries, most prominently in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, with a very large medical center called the Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi. Some of you may have heard about the Cleveland Clinic London that is scheduled to open sometime in 2020. Very, very impressive medical center in central London, the largest hospital in central London. We are heavily present now with large projects in China and Canada as well, Cleveland Clinic Canada and Toronto. So really we have two pieces to our international activities, one in which we export our expertise, knowledge abroad, and we participate locally with the healthcare system, and another is where people will come to us for medical care, and usually they are the sickest. In fact, we see we do see we have the sickest population of any medical center in the world, in the United States and in the world. So we get some type of cases in which really very few can
Michelle, can you tell us a bit about Squire Patton Boggs and some of the lessons learned from your diverse portfolio of clients?
Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to speak with you. Like the others here, I've relocated to Cleveland. I've been here a number of years, and I think those experiences let us add some color to the conversation too, because we chose to be here for reasons that brought us here and kept us here. And for me, that was largely Squire Patton Boggs. We are a large law firm. We're in the Global 100, which means that we are within the 100 largest law firms across the globe. We have about 1,600 attorneys at the Squire Patton Boggs law firm across 22 countries and 46 offices. And well over half of those attorneys are located outside of the United States. So what's interesting to me about Squire is historically we were founded here in Cleveland over 100 years ago, and so we have grown to be this enormous international enterprise from a leader who was situated in Cleveland and had the foresight and the ambition to go to where he thought our clients would go and to locate us locally with clients where we thought they would be, and that has grown and grown and grown. We first went overseas in 1974 to Brussels, and then we're one of the first U.S. law firms in Eastern Europe in 1990. So we work with clients of all sorts and sizes, including those who are venturing into the United States for the first time, including into the Cleveland or Ohio area, as well as those venturing outside of the United States for the first time. And so we get to experience that excitement with our clients as they grow across the globe. I myself actually was a diplomat with the U.S. Department of State before moving to Cleveland, so I lived in Warsaw, Poland, and Tegucigalpa, Honduras. So the visa questions, the immigration questions, the why move to Cleveland questions, I like answering them, I like thinking about them, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you today.
Beju, Biomoto earlier this year announced a partnership with a New Zealand university on an immune oncology startup. Can you share more about Biomoto's work and its global connections?
Sure, thank you, and thank you for having me on this panel. So Biomotive is a startup biotech accelerator. We started about 5 years ago here in Cleveland. And when you're in the business of medicine, you think about it maybe from a patient's perspective, you're not interested as a patient or as a caregiver or as a family member in having the best medicine that was developed in Cleveland. You want the best medicine that was developed anywhere in the world, if you were at the University of Vienna. So as we're looking at technologies, we look globally for sources of innovation. Elizabeth mentioned one of our more recent discoveries that we have licensed is out of the University of Auckland in New Zealand. But ever since we started, we've been searching, and we've got technologies out of Europe, all places in the United States. And we've also developed business partnerships to develop these technologies with companies across the world. So one of our large strategic partners is Takeda Pharmaceuticals, which is based in Japan and is one of the world's 15 largest pharmaceutical companies. And not surprisingly, if you're doing business, across the world in terms of sourcing technologies and partnering in their development, our team also reflects that type of diversity of talent that's required to both be competent as it relates to the technologies, but also conversant as it relates to business cultures across the world.
Jack, your company has been doing business in China for more than 10 years now. Can you give us an overview of Juergens and how the organization is developed here and internationally?
Great. Thank you, and welcome to the town. I'm a townie, so unlike the other folks here, I grew up here, was born here, but with the Army I moved to Louisiana, Virginia, Florida, and I decided this is a place I really wanted to come back to because of the good solid base of what we bring here to the work ethic and everything about that. Juergens is not the hand lotion company, so anybody wanting to know anything about how to use hand cream can't give you help on that. We're a manufacturer. We make stuff for the aerospace, for the medical, entertainment industries out there, and we do have global ties. We have about 450 employees here with manufacturing in Cleveland, Chicago, with distribution partners out of places like Israel, Germany, France, all over the Japanese market. We've been dealing with the Japanese for well over 30 years out there. Just as a little mini aside, during the Hungarian Revolution, we brought a lot of tool and die makers here, which is the same issues that are going on today, and they could not speak English. My grandfather spoke and preached in Hungarian every sermon on Sunday, and would come into work and interpret for the immigrants when they came in from the revolution. And so our ties back to this whole concept goes 30, 40, 50 years out there. We're a 75-year company. We do have offices in China and in India. Our connections in China, we've had our own WOFE there for about 30 plus years. Actually, I just stayed, Peter, one of your hotels in Beijing about 3 weeks ago with my partner out there, Brian Schaefer, who runs our Chinese operations. And what we did is we created a business condominium to encourage small and medium-sized businesses to come over there and be part of a solution and be part of that. So our connections go long and deep, and we believe that mid-sized companies should really get engaged in that world community because it is not as hard as what people are afraid of. We've tried to make it easier by having this business condominium, and it's our thought that now is the time. If you're sitting on the fence, don't do that. Get engaged. So